controls, are you putting in adapters and downsizing the pipe?
The T itself downsizes right in the T.
So is it going right to flex pipe? Or are you doing it?
A little piece of hard pipe with the valve and then flex pipe.
These are going to be flex?
So along the back is a 6-inch pipe.
Yep.
There's 6-inch T's, but they already come reduced. So these first two are reduced down to 3-inch. Then we'll go 3-inch with the ball valve, and then it'll go down into this first lateral. This 3-inch will come across the surface and just shoot on the surface to create lots of movement so it doesn't freeze.
That's your extra kicker if you wanted to.
That's the extra kicker if you need to flush it out.
Okay.
Yep. And then it lets air back in. So if this is turned off without the check valve, otherwise it creates a siphon and this whole thing gets sucked dry. So with this here, it'll let air in and break the siphon, so it can't suck this thing.
How does it let air in? It's not going to be buried, it's going to be above water.
Well, even if it's just at the top, it might siphon to that point until it gets air in.
Okay.
Otherwise, this will siphon right down to those laterals.
So, right, gotcha.
Got a nice view from on top of an excavated dirt pile of our upflow gravel bed wetland filter. About 28 feet by 60 feet. We'll have 7 lateral lines feeding up through layers of stone. Clean out vaults at the end. You can see where that's going to join. Roughly around the paint can and the laser level stick over to the rock at the top of the stream and waterfall. Which leads down to those boulders and into that half-acre pond. Tomorrow we should be digging in the trenches for the lateral lines for the upflow. We'll get this thing lined with geotextile and EPDM, and we'll get to installing our piping and rock next week. And we'll start running our pipe from the pumps across to here tomorrow. About 500 feet of trench with 6-inch PVC pipe. So that'll be on the list for tomorrow. Weather's been good so far, so let's hope it keeps up. Spent the last couple days putting in the pipe and building the wetland. Up at the top, it's Friday afternoon. Our goal was to get this pipe laid and the liner into the wetland, and we're pretty close. We got 75% of the way there with the pipe. We'll try to get that finished up on Monday. Hopefully it isn't too cold. We've got some deep freeze setting in, but got all 6-inch Schedule 40 hard pipe, 20-foot lengths, and used some 6-inch flex to make some big long sweeping bends where we needed to, rather than putting in elbows or 45s. Should work nice as far as having less resistance and creating head, but man, it's not the nicest material to work with, especially in the cold. So heavy, bulky stuff, and it doesn't fit in your fittings and couplings all that well, so every time we used it we had to do some adjustments to the flex pipe to make it work. But here we are. It's backfilling most of this now before these piles freeze up on us. To expect over the next week we're gonna have some sub-zero temperature. We've got around 500 feet of pipe total from the pump to our waterfall. Our intake for the pump is going to be over. You can see those little piers. It's going to be a pump dock, little deck and shelter over there around that bend. So did about 80 feet of 6-inch flex pipe to make a nice big sweep around this corner, which again should be great for the water flow, but probably spent half a day just on that piece of pipe alone in the cold. It's not the most fun. Not gonna complain. Getting this backfilled now. The pipe open at this end. We will connect on here yet. And then be running our pumps from here. Be some external, I believe, some variable speed pumps with an intake, little intake vault and pipe. See some work still happening around the wetland at the far end. You can just barely see the waterfall down in that far right corner. And that about wrap it up for the week here on this job. A lot of muskrats around here, so to clog up this pipe so they don't try to make a home in there over the weekend and get lost. So we'll jam that up with something so they can't get in there. That's it for our large waterfall job for this week, and next week we continue on the filling of the wetland. All right, we're back at this job of the big waterfall we started in January to hit that moment of truth to fire up the pumps and test out the waterfall. It's been a really dry spring and this pond is down at least a foot, probably 18 inches lower than we'd like it to be. It might cause some grief with our intake, but it's going to get filled back up. It has a fill mechanism that will happen in a couple days, so I think I can still test out the waterfall here. See, the pond's just been sitting still. It's the start of June now. Got a lot of algae building up around the outsides. You see our floating islands greening up. Lots of wetland and wet meadow plants. This sense of our intake pipe. This 10-inch pipe, it's just below the surface, and that will be a foot or 18 inches below at least. Actually more than that, 2 to 3 feet below once it's all said and done. Intake pipe leads into this vault. See the pumps pulling in water. We'd like it to be a lot higher in here, but they're not starving themselves. They are on full speed, so you see the turbulence, how much they're bringing in. Check valves on each of these pipes with a union to remove it, leading up to our tandem external pumps. Programmable automation kit to tie into the home auto system, each with a 3-inch check valve. You can close that when the pump's turned off, so you can open the basket and not have 500 feet worth of 6-inch pipe water coming back at you. So these twin together. You have 6-inch Y. and we run 6-inch pipe. We'll follow the pipe along now. Well, we're almost mid-June. Returning to the January pond, the January waterfall. Amazing how time flies. So, between various constructions going on the property, we had to hold off till we had power to our pumps. First we had to wait for our pumps, and now we get things dressed up and flowing. I think we have a pretty good effect.